What is going on, guys? Miles here, back in another video, and today I'm going to be sharing the patch notes for Black Ops 3 which were released yesterday. Basically, David Von der Haar made a post on Reddit showing all the weapon changes and score streak changes, and I'm going to be going through that in this video. So jumping right into it, the Kuda has had increased ability to control recoil, which is really good, because I thought the Kuda was a really good weapon anyway, and to see it buffed is pretty insane. But then again, I don't think it was the best weapon in the game, so I'm not like too worried about it being buffed. Hopefully it will still be good, but not like super OP. But moving on to the VMP, this thing has been nerfed a little bit. The time has been increased when aiming down sights, and the hip fire spread has been increased. So I think that was pretty necessary. They are quite minor nerfs, but I think the VMP was really OP, like one of the best weapons in the game. So it's good to see it get balanced out a little bit with the other guns. But finally, we've seen a buff with the Weevil, a hashtag buff the Weevil, and basically it's had increased ability to control recoil, which is pretty good, but I don't remember recoil being too much of a problem with the Weevil anyway. But moving on to the Vesper, it's seen a slight nerf as its lethal range has been reduced. So basically, its range has just been reduced a little bit, which is a bit surprising because I'm pretty sure it had really low range anyway, and to see it nerfed even more is a bit ridiculous. But oh well. Moving on to the Razorback, we've had increased ability to control recoil. That's going to be common with quite a lot of guns, and its its lethal range has been increased, which is pretty good because that means it's going to be dealing more damage at longer ranges, which will work really well with its like low recoil. And I'm quite surprised to see its recoil being reduced despite it having low recoil anyway. But moving on to the assault rifles with the KN-44, it's had increased ability to control recoil, and the XR2 has had reduced movement speed, which is a bit of an interesting one. I'm not sure if it was like higher than the other assault rifles or if that was just their way of trying to nerf it a little bit. But anyway, that's a little bit insignificant, I think. But moving on to the HVK, that's also had increased ability to control recoil. The ICR also has the same thing, and it also though has its hip fire spread reduced, which is, I mean, I don't really hip fire assault rifles very often unless I'm really close range, so that's going to be a little insignificant. But they also fixed the reload animation when a certain magazine was equipped, which is pretty cool to see as well. The Man of War has had reduced recoil, which is pretty awesome because I really love that gun, but I didn't like how much it would recoil at long range. And so to see its recoil reduced, maybe we'll be seeing that more in like competitive CoD, which will be really interesting. But the M8a7 has finally fallen. It has been nerfed as its fire rate has been reduced, and I'm pretty sure in the last patch notes video I mentioned the M8a7 being buffed its fire rate. So to see it nerfed is a little bit weird, like they've just gone back on their words. But anyway, moving on to the shotguns, the KRM-262 has now guaranteed a 2 hit kill, which was previously a 3 hit kill. So that is pretty big because that's like one less shot, so you don't have to do like the pump action or any of that. So maybe like the KR-262 will actually be more worth it now. But the 205 Brecci, I'm not sure how you actually say that, has had an increased range along with the Haymaker 12. So that's pretty cool, and I'm pretty sure the Haymaker 12 was a good shotgun to use on Combine. So to see its like range increased is pretty damn weird. Hopefully it won't be too overpowered. But moving on to the light machine guns, we have the Dingo, which has received a buff, which is a bit crazy in my opinion because I thought the Dingo was really good anyway. It's had increased movement speed and increased ability to control recoil. And with the 48 Dredge, which is the 6 burst LMG, I believe, it's had a reduced fire rate, and I've heard bad things about that LMG. I've heard it's like really overpowered, so it's good to see it nerfed. I'm not a huge fan of LMGs in Black Ops 3, but some of these pistols have been nerfed. Well, some of them have actually been buffed. The MR6 has had increased movement speed. The RK5, which is the free burst one, has had increased movement speed as well, but a reduced range. The LK9, which is the fully auto one, has had increased movement speed, but reduced damage, reduced range, and increased hip fire spread. So that's quite a lot of nerfs for that automatic pistol. And honestly, I'm pretty sure the RK5 was better than the LK, so it's a bit strange to see the LK get more heavily nerfed. But I'm not an expert on that. I didn't actually use the pistols very much. But moving on to the score streaks, we have the HGXD, which has had increased explosive damage because I believe earlier, if you had Flak Jacket, you literally couldn't die to an HGXD. So I guess it should have been buffed a little bit just so you could die if you had Flak Jacket and it was like right next to you. But for the Dart, this has had quite a lot of changes. The explosive damage has been increased for collision explosions. They've handled the tuning, which is pretty good because I've heard it was really hard to control. The minimum speed has been slightly reduced, which hopefully will make it easier to control, but then again will make it easier to shoot down. And they've also fixed an issue where the dart was not locking onto enemy players, which is, I don't know about that because I never actually used it. For the Talon, the AI controlled damage has been slightly increased, which is pretty good news. I really like the Talon, but I usually control it because I find it more fun and more effective if I control it, so that's not going to affect me too much. But finally, the Mothership has been buffed. I think this kill streak used to be like so underpowered. I remember making a video on it in the beta, and I did really bad with it, and it got hacked. But they've increased the number of missiles required to destroy it by 2, which is pretty significant. That's like the entire like ammo stock of the XM53, but I'm not sure if that affects the black hats or not. If any of you guys know if it affects the black hats, be sure to leave it in the comments. But the owner turret explosive bullet damage has been increased, and the owner rocket turret projectile speed has been increased, so hopefully that's going to make that thing a lot more viable. I'm pretty like annoyed at how weak kill streaks are in this game, and it's good to see a lot of these ones here getting buffed. But for the Hellstorm, the cluster bomb explosive damage has been increased. That's where you like split the missile into many more, which is pretty good because it used to be too overpowered in the beta, and then for the full game they like nerfed it and it was too bad, so hopefully now it will actually be balanced. But the Rolling Thunder has been buffed, the explosive radius per drone has been increased, and the explosive damage per drone has been increased, and they've added 4 pairs of drones, so I'm pretty sure, is that 8 or just 4? I'm not actually sure, but the health per drone has also been increased, because I remember seeing a video and some guy could like shoot them down so easily, it was ridiculous. As for the Cerberus, it now takes 1 more missile to destroy and 1 more EMP grenade to destroy, which is pretty good. I think the Cerberus was a little bit weak, but then again, it was like a bad version of the GI unit, so it's kind of expected. But speaking of the GI unit, it's been buffed also. It now takes more War Machine hits to destroy it. It's now increased in duration and slightly decreased time stunned when hit by an EMP grenade. So that's pretty fun. I really like that kill streak, how it like basically adds another player to your team who like absolutely wrecks the other team. But as for the UAV and the counter UAV, the increased health has been increased. The base health has been increased, sorry, but it still takes 1 rocket to destroy each of them. As for the Wraith, its base health has also been increased, and it's fixed an issue where the flak drone would not intercept incoming missiles, which I'm not sure what the flak drone is honestly. But moving on to the wraps, we've had increased number of missiles to destroy the ship by 1, which is pretty good because I think like they got destroyed way too easily in public matches and stuff. They've also increased health per drone, which I think is a little bit weird because honestly I think those like drones were pretty like high health anyway, and to see them get buffed is a bit crazy. But then again, like you want to buff the kill streaks, let's be honest, the kill streaks in this game are a bit weak. And they've also increased the explosive damage per drone, which is really nice to see. And finally, for the lightning strike, they finally reduced the time between target selection and payload delivery. I think the lightning strike was way too bad in this game because it'd give you like 2 warnings like 5 seconds apart when someone was going to use it, which gave you enough time to like get in cover and stuff. And hopefully it'll be more like the lightning strike on Black Ops 2 now, where it wouldn't even warn you, it would just like roll over you and just destroy the map, which was really fun to use. That was one of my favourite kill streaks in Black Ops 2. But that is the full list of patch notes for Black Ops 3 update on the 11th of December, I believe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe for more Black Ops 3 videos, and I'll see you guys in my next video.